سويا يا إخوتي هيا نمضي 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 سويا.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Some of the best ones you can ever find, or the Rasulullah, the kind of ruqya he used himself, the words he used. I'm going to go through some of this today. And in the Quran, from the Quran, some of the actual ayats he used Qul A'udhu bi Falaq, he used Qul A'udhu bi Nas, and so on and so forth, or Ayat al-Kursi, or whatever. And we'll go through this, inshallah. But what I want to say to you is that it's not restricted in that manner. And also wanted to say is that these Sahaba, radiyallahu anhum ajma'in, when they did that Fatiha at that time was used. Have you come across anyone who could just sit there and go around to patients who are being struck by a snake and just reach to the Fatiha? Hey man, you should be better by now. The guy's screaming. Why? Is it the Quran? The question is not with the Quran. The question is with the reader. And I'm telling you today, there are people in the world, that just through Surah Fatiha, they can cure, just like, and it's not they cure. I mean, obviously there are sabab, there are means. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bring that cure about just through Surah Fatiha. And there are people still alive in this world today, but they're very rare. Most of us would probably need a lot more to read than that, just to get that cure to come about. The cure, we don't bring the cure, obviously Allah brings the cure, it's His words of the Holy Quran. But the one thing that I want us to understand is that the Quran in no way is any lesser in degree of power than what it was in the time of revelation. It's actually exactly the same power. But the power of the Quran, when it comes to ruqya, when you want to blow onto someone because they are affected by something, the power of the Quran is contingent upon the nature of the body that reads it. See, the body that reads it, it depends on the a'mal and the good action that the body does, and the purity of the heart. The more pure the heart is, the more grounded the beliefs of the Quran Sunnah are, the greater the actions that are being performed by that body, the limbs of that body, the tongue of that body, the eyes of that body. The more that the eyes of that body have stayed away from obscenity, from evil looking, the more the ears have stayed away from haram, and the tongue has stayed away from lying and ghiba and haram, the greater the effect of that will be, of that reading will be when they read. And, you know, just to give you that incident, there was one person who, you know, who related this to me himself. I even met his father, who also confirmed this. So I'm not giving you some, you know, story, because you know one thing that happens with these things is that you could start a story off right now, and by tomorrow I tell you it'll be better than the news of the world. I tell you. You can start a little story here, you know, you can just say, I went to the wudu area and I saw something move, yeah? Just tell that to someone, yeah? The next guy will start with these Chinese whispers, yeah? The next guy will say, you know what, he went to the wudu area and he saw something move right by his side, he saw a shadow. He's going to use, and the next guy will say, you know, he went to someone in this mosque, he went to the wudu area, they saw a shadow moving right in front of him. You know, wow. And the story will get better. It will just get better. Each one that takes it to another one. So the best thing to do in a lot of these things is to actually go and see the person themselves who've been through some cases. So I will try to tell you some cases that I've seen myself or heard myself directly. So this is one of the cases. There was a individual who is a typical scenario, you know, young teenager, Bengali house, yeah, about 17 years old, not listening to his dad, doing whatever he wants. Yeah, dad gets fed up, says, take you to Bangladesh to get you married. Yeah, so he doesn't tell him, he tells him we're going on takes him on a holiday, takes him over there. Next thing he knows, his passport's not there. And he says, "Where's my passport?" He says, "You must get married, son. Otherwise you see no passport." So he looks at his dad in the face and says, "No passport, no marriage? No passport, no marriage, son." So, okay. He says, "Okay, let's see the bride." But in his head, what he wanted to do is he wanted to basically mess around with his dad. So his dad brings nice bride, spends all this mishti and all these, whatever laddu, right? And buys all these clothes and takes it, and they see this bride, and he says, has all the food, the guy has all the food, and says, "Okay, where is she?" "Yeah, she's here." "Nah, can't get married to her." No, that's it. So his dad thinks, "Oh, what happened there?" So his dad goes to the next one. Yeah. And in between that, what happened is, I think the father said to some poor peasant over there that, they were just having a joke. And he said to the peasant that, it would be nice to have your daughter for my son. He was only joking. And the peasant, being a peasant, thought, all he could see in his eyes is dollars. Or pound signs. London. So what he did is, he was serious and he started to talk seriously. And the father said, no, I wasn't joking, Mac. And the guy then, to get this person as a son-in-law, what he did, he casted a spell. He did sihr. He got some Hindus or whatever to do sihr. Now, it became very complicated because I think there was another person who did sihr, and this person then became messed up, where this person was acting mad and, breaking things and sometimes snapping out and being blacked out and all sorts of things, that this person was going through. And this person went through, they say, is confirmed by the person himself and the father as well, that they saw about 57 brides. But none of them he would get married to, because it's a sihr that is possibly making him feel in one way. Right? And they've been to so many people to try and break this sihr, break this black magic. They've been to many people to try and break it. And it just wasn't happening. Now, so many people started a number of different things that they used, until finally they went to one sheikh in Sylhet. He's not alive now, but in a madrasa called Renga Madrasa, which is in Sylhet. They went, and there was a sheikh out there. They went to him, and the sheikh said, "Bring your son here." So he brought his son. And the sheikh looked at him and he said, "Okay." He said, "Bring me some water." So he brought some water. And the sheikh took the glass of water, read Surah Fatiha, blew inside and said, "Give it to your son to drink." The son drank it. The next bride this person saw got married. And also the guy was cured from all his blackouts and all these other things and, acting wild, breaking things, but he was cured from that. It was just that one Fatiha that this sheikh. Now the thing is, again, what I'm trying to say from this incident is that it's not about the Quran. The Quran is the Quran. There is no devaluing with the Quran at all. And I believe should be up to 100% with the Quran. 100% with Allah, 100% with the Messenger, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, 100% with the Quran. There is nothing that should go short from this. The only thing that goes short is myself. And we've got a few things in ourselves that can go short. One is the willpower that I said. Another one is our actual belief. Belief is something that the stronger you put your mind to the belief, the greater the result that you will get. That is in the belief. The belief, there are some people, they've just got the belief, it will just happen. From this hadith I'm saying, "Ana inda dhanni abdi bi." I am according to how my servant thinks me to be. There are some people whose belief in Allah is that it will happen. And Allah makes it happen. There's a hadith in Muslim. That says, لَوْ أَقْسَمَ عَلَى اللَّهِ لَأَبَرَّهُ. There are certain servants of Allah that if they said, "Wallahi, this will happen," Allah says that I will fulfill it for them. Allah's Messenger says they will not give any compensation. Allah will fulfill their oath. Whatever they will say, "Wallahi, this will happen," and Allah will make it happen. So there are these people whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has gifted that they are, and this is to do with belief. The stronger the belief, the better it is. And the other thing is the heart. There are some people who are just weak-hearted. So they just get, they're just not strong-hearted. There are others who are really courageous. Now what I want to say to you is that with regards to the unseen world and jinns and sihr or black magic, whatever it is, there are the people that get affected first are of some kind. Number one, they might be the weak-hearted, or the one with the weak willpower, the one with the weak aqidah. Number two, the one with the weak actions of the deen. So somebody who's not practicing the deen. Someone who's not practicing the deen and they're away from deen, they are susceptible to be affected. They can be affected. But mostly from those people who are not practicing, the people who stay in impurity. This is another important aspect I'm saying. People who stay in impurity. So a person sleeps with his wife, or na'udhu sleeps with a woman he's not supposed to sleep with, and they basically are in a state of janaba. They're supposed to have a ritual bath and cleanse their whole body through having proper bath, and they don't do that. Now they are asking, shayateen, come, be with me. Okay? Shaitan, wherever you are, come, be with me. Because shaitan has no reason to be away from them. You can read Quran at that time, your Quran is not going to be accepted. Women on their menses, it's in impure state, and they should basically, it's not just because they're on the menses. If they're praying before their menses, if they're always praying after their menses, if they are observing the hijab that normally are practicing women, that doesn't matter. But a woman who doesn't practice, and then a woman who's on her menses, she's basically now in some form of weakness. She's now prone to I'm not saying she's going to get attacked straight away. Please, don't get the message wrong, right? But I'm saying that she is weak. Now there's weaknesses. Now the weaker you become, the stronger you see your opponent, and the more you basically can be prone to some kind of attack. In terms of najasa or impurity, there is keeping the fingernails long and having a lot of dirt underneath it, to not clean the unwanted hair off the body, around the private parts and the armpits, not doing that, for more than 40 days. Person becomes prone to that. A person who doesn't really live with cleanliness like a Muslim should, they're basically showing weakness. Now, we're not saying something's going to attack them, but it's almost like your immune system. If now winter's arriving, a lot of you have seen, you'll have cardigans, you'll have something thick, to wear. Unless, of course, you're a hot person. There's some people, they're hot anyway. Now, some people, you haven't seen them. I saw the other day, I was freezing, and there's a guy who's, he's a little white boy. He's basically got his whole body uncovered. From the waist down, he's covered with trousers, but the whole body is uncovered. He's in 11 degrees, and he's got a bike, and he's basically just biking down, and I think, Allah's created some people like that. They don't feel the cold. There's others who will feel the cold really easily. Now the same thing with the unseen world and some of the, ghoulies that are out there. Your weakness is key to what actually happens. Weakness of belief or weakness of, whatever. It's an immune system. We've all got an immune system. Now, to boost your immune system, what do you do in the normal world? This is how literally you've got to see it. If you're basically catching a cold, you've got to boost your immune system. Now naturally, if you eat properly, if you rest properly, your immune system is going to be high. But if you're not doing that, if you're not eating properly, if you're not sleeping properly, immune system is weak. And then you go out, without protecting yourself properly, and the cold catches you, then you get a flu, right? Or you catch a cold. Now, it's not the end of the world. You catch a cold. And what happens after that? Well, if you're a young man, you can just, sweat it off.
إلى الله